Do we have any need for executive this evening?
I've got two things, Madam Chair. Personnel regarding the town manager and contracts regarding a procurement issue.
Procurement, is that what you said?
Yes.
I have zoning.
Is that personnel based?
That could be legal.
Yes, I guess
Legal?
it would be legal, yes.
Zoning. Anybody else have anything?
I'd make a motion we go into executive session for those three items.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Any need to amend the agenda?
I've got two more recently submitted liquor license applications.
Oh, okay,
Would
two
you
more?
mind doing those tonight?
Yep.
One from Keith's and one from Hilltop Tavern.
Motion to approve agenda as amended.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything of the select board meeting minutes of March 16th? I didn't see anything.
Looked good to me.
Okay.
In that case, I will fire them right down. That's the main one, and here's the liquor board.
He confused you, Joe. No, you're on the next page, I assume, Joe. I assume so.
Wasn't the top page this time, John?
No.
No, he's, you know.
Old dog, new tricks.
Yeah, exactly. He tricked everybody.
Hey, it worked for one meeting, okay?
It was a couple. It was a couple. Two or three.
It worked
Pay
really
attention,
well.
there was two
but-
meetings.
That's one of my highlights.
When the secretary makes the minutes go almost to the end of the page, but not quite,
Yeah,
so there's
it's
room for
difficult.
one signature, you know, it
Makes it
causes
difficult.
issues.
Well, he could go in and add a line to move them.
So true. Mea culpa.
You probably understand
Indeed.
at this point. Right, John?
No comment.
Sorry, Hank, I gave that to you all.
I gotta take a look. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look for it now.
Oh, you weren't here.
All right, any questions on the orders?
Just to mention, because of the 3-week gap, we did have an original order, which was signed by, I think, 3 or 4 selectmen. So,
Okay.
thank you for that.
All right, town manager's report?
Yes, let me get these orders down to you.
Sorry, I was jumping the gun there.
That's no problem. I'll be right back. So we ready? Okay, thank you. Charlene Bryant, the recording clerk for the town's planning commission, has recently been trained by Liz Sulia on the usage of the town's Zoom-related video and audio equipment. So that gives us a second available person along with Kelly, who's capable of performing double duty, both taking minutes on meetings and Zooming, so that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you to Liz Sulia for that. Heather Simons, the new executive director of the Police Academy, or the Vermont Criminal Justice Center, will attend the April 20th Select Board meeting to get acquainted with the Select Board, introduce herself, and also to meet the town's new town manager, Brenda Fox Chapman, who will be present for this April 20th meeting, along with me.
Howard.
Howard.
Fox
not
Howard.
Chapman.
Oh, jeez.
We got another new one we don't know about, John.
I've been doing that all day, sorry. Make a note of that. Okay. The Act 250 folks have posed several questions to the state regarding its plans for the Route 7 bridge replacement project. Those seem to be focused on the issue of emergency vehicles passing through. The state has presented their response today. It's in tonight's packet, both sets of filings. Parties were given until April 12th to submit additional information relating or responding to submissions solicited after the close of the hearing. So, Boondocks Motors has appealed to the state's environmental court with regard to the amended permit issued by the town several weeks ago. Zoning officer Jeff Biasuzzi has been in touch with Attorney Kupfer about the appeal. If the board would like a status update from Jeff and or Gary, I can certainly arrange for that at an executive session at the next meeting. Could be something to consider. We
Yeah,
can
yep.
perhaps discuss that further tonight. The deadline for applications for the position of assistant to the town manager, which is the position now held by Linda Drummond, is Friday, April 15th. I'm pleased to say we already have received 4 applications, but there's still 9 days left, so get your applications in. The extended deadline for applications for the new position of assessor clerk is Friday, April 29th. We have now received 2 applications, and expressions of potential interest from a third, so let's stay tuned on that as well. The spring newsletter deadline for submissions is April 15th.
Any questions for John? Yes? Oh. You looked at me like you had something.
Oh, no, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. Any select board member remarks?
I've got something I'd like to read on behalf of our friend Hank.
Yes.
Dear Pittsford Selectmen, or to the Pittsford Selectmen, due to ongoing health issues, I will be resigning from the remainder of my term as Selectman, as well as from the Water and Sewer Commission, effective at the end of tonight's meeting. Thanks to the voters of Pittsford for giving me the honor and privilege of serving them for the past 21 years. Sincerely, Hank Pelkey.
Thank you, Hank, for your service.
Thank you, Hank.
You're full born every day. Job well done, buddy.
Yes.
And Hank, of course, words are not adequate.
Oh.
Thank you enough. But we're going to try one gift basket after another until you get the message.
Hey.
Thank you very much. You're gonna have to carry that out. Anything good there to drink?
Yes.
Looks like it.
In the middle.
All right, we'll deal with that in executive session.
Alicia, can I say one more thing?
Oh,
just briefly?
absolutely.
It's hard to know what to say on such a momentous occasion. Of course, sadness, but also happiness about what a wonderful relationship we've all been able to have with you, lo these many years. So I'm just going to paraphrase just briefly the remarks we had in the town report back in 2016 when it was dedicated in your honor. Of course, you've served the people of Pittsford for more than 20 years in a variety of ways. First and foremost, on the town's select board. Your intelligence, judgment, temperament, leadership skills soon became apparent to all, and that's why they made you chair for so many years until you turned over the gavel a few years ago. You gave a lot of your time to some of the board's most important special projects as well, including, on the top of the list, our Veterans Memorial. So that's a wonderful testament to you that'll stand the test of time, no question about it. Despite your struggle with Parkinson's, you've remained very busy in the service of the community. You served on the McClure Library Board of Trustees. You took on many projects for them over the years, and you've been a great advocate for them and their financial needs. You served, of course, for many years as a director on the Humane Society, for 7 years as its president. And, of course, the Niquacket Hose Company recognized your many accomplishments and generous donation of your time and efforts toward Haunted House and other things by making you a honorary member for your unfailing dedication and support. Together with Ann, of course, you've worked an awful lot on behalf of the Historical Society, and once you were an avid golfer and had worked for more than 20 years as director of the Proctor Pittsford Country Club, many years as its secretary. So your humility often prompts you, or has prompted you, to remind others like me that nobody in government is indispensable. In fact, you've told me that the graveyards of the world are filled with indispensable people. So
I quoted Charles de Gaulle on that one.
So Hank, boss, thanks for all you've done for the people of Pittsford, and please accept our very best wishes as you embark on the next chapter. Please be well, stay in touch, and thanks again.
Thank you, John. It's very nice.
Very nice.
Hank, you're gonna need to pass on your expedited Route 7.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We need to find somebody young to take over the
I
task.
was on that committee for 10, 12 years.
Yeah. How many years ago was that?
50.
20. I was on it before I was on the select board.
But it's on the fast track, right?
Then
It's
that's
on a fast track,
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Average road takes 23 years in Vermont to do, and this is going to take 45.
Yeah. Yep.
If we're lucky. Yeah.
Hold your breath.
Any day now.
Okay. Yeah. Complete change of everything here. So anyway, I've had a couple people contact me about the fact that I guess going up Furnace and Goat Farm Road, which is posted, there were some triaxle dump trucks running up through there.
Oh.
From what I understand, they had permission to do that. I think maybe we as a select board, maybe not, I don't know, need to look into this, because if the road is in good enough shape for somebody from out of town to be running over our roads, probably the sign should be taken down. Because, I mean, these people weren't extremely upset, but they couldn't understand why a resident of the town of Pittsford who pays taxes can't drive their dump truck on the road, but some company from out of town can haul fill for a house
Okay.
down those roads. So that might be something at some point in time we need to look into. So,
Can I just ask as a follow-up, I don't know if I caught it all, was there a bad consequence of somebody digging into the road, or?
I don't believe so, no.
The way it has worked is, it's just by tradition that we post the roads, but we all know that there are occasional cold snaps, so that are cold enough that the highway foreman is willing to give permission on a case-by-case basis. But we can certainly revisit that if there's another way of doing it.
Well, yeah, this, from what I understand, this was last week, so it wasn't a cold spell.
Okay.
Not enough to freeze the road anymore. But it sounds like the road had dried out and yet it's still posted.
Okay.
So,
My suggestion would be check with the road foreman to
Sure.
see whether he had any knowledge of it.
oh no,
Yeah.
he gave permission.
Oh, he had.
That's
Oh,
kind of
oh,
the rub,
okay.
that's kind of the rub.
Oh.
That he gave permission to an out-of-town
Yeah.
entity to run on our roads when people in town weren't able to. That's the rub. So, and again, it's, you know, if the road is good, then why is the sign still there?
Take it down.
Okay.
Take it down.
All right.
Or don't allow the traffic. I think it's fairly simple.
If it's
Myself.
bad, put it back up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Any other remarks from select board? All right. Do we have any public comment tonight? Everyone here is on the agenda. There's any public comment from anyone? Is there just one person online? Okay. All right, so people that are here are both in old business and new business, so I think we might just we'll just bring it, go through in order, because I think the first couple are probably pretty quick, right? The update on transition to new town manager.
Yes, Brenda will begin work on April 18th, and we'll have a 2-week transition period, including joint appearances of she and I at the next water and sewer and select board meetings.
Okay. And then RNESU's plans for the budget revote.
Yes, of course, as you probably have seen in the press, they plan to have the revote on April 26th via Australian ballot. I think they're planning on having a public information hearing the evening before, on the 25th. He did also ask the district whether they had considered our request that they change their meeting schedule, and I've seen their minutes from the March 16th organizational session, and it appears that they've decided to continue on with their meeting schedule, which is the first and third Wednesday of the month, which of course is ours. So that kind of brings to head whether the select board wishes to change its meeting schedule to avoid conflicts, or whether you'd like to keep it as is.
Well, I don't know what the thoughts are. I know we had discussed it so that people in town could go to both school board and select board meetings, but they've only been meeting for the last 5 or 6 years in that time slot, and Pittsford's been meeting
Doing it for
how many years?
forever.
So,
Well, I'm sure
yeah,
they're gonna want
it's
something someday from this board.
unfortunate they weren't willing to consider changing, but
Is this, how important is this? I mean, is there many a times when we should be getting together and we can't because of this schedule? I'm not aware of just how much of a,
so, well, I mean, as for the select board, when the whole sidewalk issue was going on, there was a couple of us that had to leave this meeting to go to the school board meeting. But then just in general, my thought, I kind of had brought this up, it just felt like it was a little undemocratic as far as people, taxpayers in Pittsford, have to choose whether they're going to go to school board or select
Yeah.
board, and they should be able to go to both.
be nice if there were
So,
different dates.
it would be. So, I guess we're at a standstill.
I don't believe we ought to change the select board. That's tradition.
No, yeah, so I guess, like I said, we're at a standstill, so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing we could, yeah,
I would say if it's something special, we'll cancel our meeting and go to their meeting if we have to.
I guess we could do that. I guess that could be the compromise.
We could compromise it that way.
I mean, the only other way we could do is go to the second and the fourth instead of the first and third, but, yeah, I mean, that's really our only, because I mean,
Yeah.
you've got other commissions that meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays
Yeah.
and others,
Screws
so
everything up.
it messes up, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I say keep it the way it is, and if we need to
If we need to go, we
reschedule
can.
one of our meetings, we can.
Yeah.
Okay,
That works for me. Is everybody else okay with that?
yeah, I'd be good with that.
Okay. Is that something we just need a consensus on? We don't need to.
Yes,
No.
we're not doing anything different, so.
Right, okay. All right, then, update on VELCO Substation.
Mr. Poulin and Mr. Eugair are here to update us. They were here a few months ago, or at least Mr. Poulin was.
I'll try to share my screen. Here you go. Full screen.
Alicia's the only one that can't see it, so.
Jerk.
Well,
That's
if you
also
make it
probably
that
true.
small, I can't see it, so, you know. Yeah.
This probably gives us an opportunity to address payroll, which has not been signed yet,
Oh, whoops.
due to the town manager's negligence.
We're getting rid of him.
Slipping in these
or-
final
Get rid of
days.
him, he keeps that up, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Yeah, I'm big water bill.
Great, well, thank you guys for inviting us here or allowing us to come talk to you about our project. Before I get started, I sometimes forget that everyone might not know who VELCO is. And so I thought I'd just start with a couple slides kind of explaining what VELCO is. So VELCO is the high voltage electric transmission power company in the state of Vermont. We provide electric service to the distribution utilities in the state. There's 17 of those distribution utilities that we provide service to. We don't have any commercial or industrial customers or residential customers. We only supply power to the other utilities in the state. This allows Vermont to meet its needs for reliable power. We're interconnected to the grid in the United States, specifically to New England. And this allows us to provide cost-effective power to Vermonters, and it enables us to import and export renewable energy sources. Like I said, we're owned by the 17 Vermont electric distribution utilities in Vermont. Green Mountain Power is the distribution company here in this county. And we're also owned by the Vermont Low Income Trust for Electricity, VLIT. They're a 37% owner. And that group was formed when Green Mountain Power purchased for Central Vermont Public Service. And they gave their voting shares and ownership of VELCO to this VLIT that provides money for low-income Vermonters for their electricity bills. As far as our assets, we have 738 miles of transmission line throughout the state and 55 substations where we step our voltage down to distribution level voltage. We have 13,000 acres of right-of-way and 1,500 miles of fiber optic communication network. So we use that to communicate between our substations and with the distribution utilities, and we're expanding that to be able to connect to a lot of the distributed energy resources. And we also own the back-to-back high-gate converter, where we take power from Hydro-Quebec, convert it to DC voltage, and then from DC voltage immediately turn it back to AC voltage to meet with the frequencies here in the United States. We're a member, like I mentioned, to ISO New England, and they work with us to ensure the grid in New England is strong. And we are regulated by FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. They oversee the sale of electricity in the country, as well as the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, which enables or ensures reliable cyber and physical security. And of course, too, we're regulated by the Vermont Public Utility Commission, the PUC. The project we're talking about tonight, and I gave an introduction last year in June, the Florence Substation project. We have a program where we go to all of our older substations. We identified about 14 of those substations that needed to be assessed and addressed for weaknesses in their system. We looked at Florence, and for those of you that aren't familiar with the substation, it's kind of tucked away and hidden off Whipple Hollow Road. It's located right here on this map. Whipple Hollow Road is here, Route 7 is here. This black and red line here is our transmission line that runs from Middlebury to West Rutland, and our substation is tapped off of that. Here's a Google map showing the same. Here's Route 7 here, Whipple Hollow Road. Our substation is tucked up right here, kind of behind Omni. And this is the Florence crushed stone quarry. We'll talk about that in a second. So the scope of work for this project is we're replacing our existing 46 kV radial substation with a ring bus substation. One of the things that we were going to have to do in order to support OMIA during this rebuild of the substation was build a temporary substation in order to do that. And that cost about $1 million for us to do. So what we decided to do is build a new substation adjacent to the old substation. And once we commission that, we'll remove the old substation. Why it made sense in this particular case, in addition to being able to save money from a temporary, there was enough improvements necessary or needed on the existing substation to warrant doing that. And we've actually, because we're now making it a ring bus instead of a radio bus, it provides some reliability enhancements to make the substation
Tell us a
more
little bit
reliable.
about the difference between ring bus and radio bus. I don't follow that.
Yeah, so with the radio bus, we're tapped off the 115 kV line from West Rutland to Middlebury, as well as with the ring bus. But the circuit breakers that feed the different lines are just radially fed out, like in your home, for instance. With a ring bus, we connect all those breakers in a ring configuration, and then we tap off in between them. So if one of those breakers was to operate or misoperate, or be removed from service for maintenance, that line is being fed from the alternative breaker. So, and we do have, a lot of times breakers will fail to open when they need to, or they'll trip unexpectedly, and so this just adds another level of reliability there. But more importantly, it allows us to be able to take out a breaker for maintenance. We perform routine maintenance on these breakers, the mechanics of them, and so this just makes it a lot more reliable. So right now with Omea, for instance, they're very prescriptive of when we can take power out. And it used to be they would take an outage, they would have a shutdown every year. Recently, that's not happening. They just don't go down as much. So this will enable us to still feed them reliably and perform our maintenance. We do need to purchase 3 acres of land from Omea. I'll show you in a map where that is. We haven't purchased that land yet. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. We're also going to be increasing the size of our cap bank as part of this project from 5.4 to 10 megavar, and that helps with voltage support in the region. So our estimate for this project is $17.7 million. That's what we filed for our certificate of public good with the PUC, but we expect to be able to come in closer to 12.9. Our estimate was a little bit high. We wanted to make sure we had contingency in there for some of the supply chain issues and labor issues that we're seeing as a result of the pandemic. So I think we're in a pretty good spot there. Here's kind of an overview. It's kind of difficult to see here. I'll zoom in. The blue section on this drawing shows the existing substation. The red is the new substation that we'll be building, and then this will be removed. The 115 kV line from West Rutland to Middlebury runs along this corridor here that we tap off of. We do need to purchase this 3 acres, kind of boxed out off here, from Omea. And we've reached an agreement with them. That property is under their current Act 250, so we needed to get an administrative amendment, and that's taking longer than we thought. It used to be 10 days, but now it's been in there for over a month, and we're just kind of waiting for that. So as soon as that happens, we will close on the property and begin our work. So here's just another drawing. The existing substation is right here, and this is the property that we're going to be purchasing. That property contains a lot of ledge, and so we need to perform blasting and excavation there to remove that before we can start construction on the property. So progress to date, we assessed the physical condition of the equipment and the designs to be considered, and that was in 2022. We developed the scope of work and the cost estimate in 2021. We came and presented it to you. We filed or submitted an application for our certificate of public good with the Public Utility Commission on September 3rd last year, outlining the work. We just received our CPG on March 21st. Why that was particularly important, the timing of that, when we were doing our environmental assessments last year, we identified potential bat habitat. So there's a protected species of bat, the Indiana bat. There was 5 trees on the property in that 3 acres that were potential roost habitat. So we're not permitted to cut those trees between April 1st and November 1st. So had we not gotten the certificate of public good in time, we would have, that could have jeopardized our project. We would have had to go out and perform assessments and studies to make sure there was no bats in those trees. But luckily, within days, we got the CPG and were able to cut the trees. So that work has been done. We did go out to bid for the site work, the clearing, the rock blasting, and the rock crushing. And that contract was awarded to Naylor and Breen through a competitive bid process. And so John's here, he's gonna tell you a little bit about Naylor and Breen. One of the agreements that John and his team worked out was with Florence crushed stone. We were originally in our CPG going to try to crush the stone on site. It's a very tight spot. There's going to be noise generated from that activity. So we asked the bidders to give us a price to haul the rock up to Florence crushed stone, which is about 0.4 miles away from this site, and crush it up there. And through the pricing, it was very competitive to do that. It was cost savings to the project to do that, as well as reduce some of the noise level with the stone crushing. We're going to use that crushed stone back on that right-of-way between Middlebury and West Rutland. We have to travel on those right-of-ways often to replace structures and perform maintenance work. So that rock will be reused there. So like I mentioned, we're anticipating receiving that Act 250 administrative amendment any day. As soon as we do, we will purchase a property from OMIA. And then one of the conditions of our certificate of public good is that we notify the PUC and the town of Pittsford prior to starting construction. So after but we can't do that until we close on the property and have all the permits. So it's just kind of one of these waiting game. But you will be getting a formal letter from us, hopefully in the next week or so, indicating that we're ready to start construction. Once that happens, we will plan on starting tree removal and then perform the blasting and rock crushing and put the rock on our, improve the roads on our right-of-way. One of the things, the lines going out of the existing substation right now are rather, they're appropriate height, but with the construction that we're going to be doing right beneath them, we want to raise them up. So OMIA is having they're not having a complete shutdown, but they're going to slow down here in May, and we're going to take that opportunity to perform our work. So it's we don't have any issues and take them out of service by accident. And then once we do the site clearing, we will do our below grade work in August, building the control buildings, pouring footings, and trench work. VELCO's own crews, a lot of times we will subcontract the work, like the work we're doing with Naylor and Breen. We do that for our protection and control systems, all the electronic wiring, as well as the steel erection. We're doing that all in-house by VELCO personnel. It's a great project for us because it's in our neighborhood. So the crews are really excited about doing that. There's no travel time for them, like if they were working up in the Northeast Kingdom or something. So a lot of the guys are excited about this project. And we expect to commission this new substation in June of 2023, so a year from now, a little over a year. Like I mentioned, John Eugair is the construction manager for Naylor and Breen. And maybe you can just...
Yeah, I can give a brief intro. I mean, I'm John Eugair. Some of you may know me. I am local to the area. I live up in Fire Hill. So I've been in the town most of my life. So I work with Naylor and Breen. Breen, we're roughly just under 120 employees now. We work all over the state, into New York and New Hampshire as well. We've worked with VELCO for 7 years, maybe a little over 7 years now. Multiple projects, substations, and their facilities, repairs, maintenance. And yeah, we went through the competitive bid process. We were awarded phase 1 of Florence. I'm pretty excited about that for the same reason. Our guys get something close to home. For me, it's great. I can drive by it twice a day, whether I want to or not. And it's good too. You know, I grew up with a lot of the neighbors, stakeholders. So I feel like I get to be on both sides of it, you know, working with VELCO, but also making sure that I don't have to live with my neighbors for the next 20 years because they're unhappy with something we did. But, so yeah, that's.
Your subcontractors will be local folks as well?
Yeah. So we're subcontracting with Florence to crush up the materials. Steve Shemwelski has been my primary contact. We've worked with Tom Dito. He'll be doing some of the trucking. He's right down the road. It just makes sense for him to, you know, his guys to grab their cup of coffee, go up and start hauling and haul back. And then much of the earthwork will be self-performing. We have a site division, concrete division, you know, frame to finish, master electricians, custom cabinetry. We pretty much do it all out of necessity because of our location in Vermont. It's how we've continued to grow and be successful. Again, you know, teaming with VELCO, I feel like we've done a good job of aligning our values with them, and that's why we continue to do business with them as well.
Yeah, safety will be very important on this project, as all of our projects. So it doesn't get much more local than this for us. And you can guarantee there'll be a lot of oversight from the office on this project as well. It's just too convenient. But having said that, if just some contacts, we'll leave you with some contact names. If there's any issues with trucks, with noise, with dust, whatever, please let us know and give us the opportunity to correct that. We'll be reaching out to the neighbors, and we've already discussed, met with the neighbors and talked to them about some of their concerns, but we just want to be on top of this. And OMIA has a very active neighborhood group as well, and we'll be working with them to make sure people are kept informed and you know, have an idea of what's going on. So yeah, feel free to call us anytime. John, 24 hours a day.
My cell phone never turns on. Yeah, so I'm there. I honestly hope that if somebody does have an issue, they do call my number first before it ever gets to the point where we're sitting around the select board meeting discussing, you know, something they're upset about. Yeah. So, yeah, no, communication is, you know, is key, and we'll do a lot of that.
Yeah, in fact, last year when I was preparing to come to this meeting, we had gone and talked to a number of the neighbors, and one of the neighbors that I talked to was, I started to go up to his door, and he turned around and went into his garage. He was pretty upset with VELCO. And it turns out, over the past year, somebody had driven on his front lawn and rutted it up, and he was told it would be fixed, and it never was. So, yeah, we immediately got that corrected. It was not a big, you know, issue, but it was just one of those things that, you know, it represented VELCO poorly, that we didn't, you know, respond. And so we've worked hard to reestablish that relationship with him, and he made some recommendations. We're going to be widening the entryway. I think the trucks were bringing in poles into that substation to put on the right-of-way, and long trucks. And so in order to make that turn, and these trucks weren't even VELCO trucks; they were just delivery trucks. But nonetheless, it was our doing. And he recommended that we expand the roadway and make a bigger turning radius. And so we've incorporated that into the project, and I think he's pretty happy with the outcome. So we just want the opportunity to be able to correct problems, or, you know, do the right thing.
All right. Great, well, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm all set.
Just a quick question on schedule again. It'll maybe be online by June of next year. What's the period of time during which you think there'll be lots of trucking, lots of blasting?
Yeah, that will be, I think, John, you can't start blasting until...
May 31st is the day that we can start blasting. And, you know, when we say blasting, we, you know, it's varying degrees, right? we're working next to a live sub that we can't trip relays on, okay? So it's more like a boom, not a bang.
Gotcha.
This is not an open blast scenario in a quarry. This is you know, we do very, very small blasts, and move the material and rinse and repeat over and over again. So it takes a little bit longer to do, but it's what's required to make sure that the equipment in that substation doesn't come down so that we don't in turn get a phone call from Omnia.
Right. But I think if we get that administrative amendment, within days, we hope to file our letter and start cutting trees. That'll be the first phase, and we've got 2 weeks to do that, and then by May we'll start. And the hope is, with working with Florence crushed stone, some of the trucks coming in to take the stone away will be empty when they come in, but hopefully we'll catch it so that we're bringing out blasted stone and bringing in, we'll be coming in with crushed stone and then going out with blasted stone. So just to minimize the number of trucks.
Oh, right.
And yeah, I think it's about 0.2 miles on Pittsford town roads, and then there's another 0.2 miles of private road that's Omia's. We may need it sometimes. I think that private road is pretty well, has a lot of truck traffic between Omia and the quarry. So we may at times, and they'll work out, we talked with Steve and Mike today, they may have to go the whole 0.4, go around the horn, so to speak. But we'll try to keep off the town roads as much as possible.
And we're not talking convoys of triaxles here, okay? We're talking like 3 to 4 on average to make the rounds that we need to because it's such a short run.
Yep.
So it's, I like to think that it wouldn't be much more noticeable than what's there other than the immediate landowners, but I think Velco's done a pretty good job of, public outreach with those people so they understand that it's a short-term problem, a long-term solution.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks very
Thank you
much.
for your time.
Good luck.
The end result of this whole thing, probably the town of Pittsford will gain a few tax dollars. Probably.
Yes, you will.
So that's positive.
I've already made a note to let the assessor know about this.
Yeah, they usually find out. I don't know how it happens, but
Well, considering she drives by it too, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, right.
Lisa will go by it
Yeah,
yeah, this I think
twice a
is-
day whether she wants to or not.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, this is a good project for a number of reasons, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, we'll go over to new business. Review the bids to install new siding and windows at the first response building.
Yes, so just to introduce Bob Foley, as you know, prior to the last year and a half, 2 years, Pittsford First Response has been a separate non-town government entity. And somewhere in the more recent time, the Pittsford First Response decided we've got some deferred maintenance on the building. We want to preserve the asset of the building, and you went out to bid trying to get some numbers on siding and windows. Is that right, Bob?
Yep. And repair anything that would be underneath the siding itself. Like, I already had I guess you'd say the east side repaired because the stairs were so bad they couldn't be used. So we couldn't use the upstairs because there was no fire escape. And when he tore it apart, because when it was built, the stairs were built against the building, it held water to it and it rotted it from top to bottom. He had to replace the sill on that side of the building, and also there's a new window on that side too, because while they had it apart, he put one in.
So, for example, what was left is what you were wanting to go out to bid on, and you've got 3 local contractors to
Yep.
give you proposals. It took a while, but you got them, correct?
Yeah, we got them.
And they're in your packet from Todd Blanchard,
Yeah, his is a 2-part.
Mike Potter, and Champagne.
Mm-hmm.
The town now has a Pittsford First Response Building Fund into which $5,000 goes each year. So we're just over $9,000 for these first 2 years of their presence as a town governmental department. So that's one issue. But if you'd like to talk about the bids themselves, that would be appropriate.
So we have a little less than half of the money that's required
It looks
on
that way.
hand at this point.
Right. Now, of course, this issue has come up before with dedicated funds. There's nothing to prevent us from doing the job and carrying a negative balance until it can be rebuilt. Another possibility is, I know that our friends at the First Response have a few nickels in their tin cup that they might want to dedicate to this project. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. But that's a possibility,
no, I
perhaps.
actually planned on doing that, trying to help with the defer the cost.
Now, it's my understanding there's been some discussion about possibly adding on to that building
Correct.
in the future.
So that's what I also, I don't mean to interrupt Joe, but this is for all the way around the building
Yeah.
right now.
As it
These
is
estimates.
now.
Yeah.
With the possibility of an addition, is there anything that should be considered with that in the back of our mind when this kind of construction is done? I mean, should there be any consideration given to the possibility of an addition?
And when you talk about addition, Joe, are you talking about building in these garage bays
Well,
that
we're
have the
gonna,
pads?
it's possible that the police department was
Right.
gonna go down there, that's my understanding.
It's something that's been discussed,
So when
yeah.
if we say, go ahead and do what you wanna do now, is the possibility of an expansion taken into consideration so as to not be throwing away some money now doing what we're doing and have to do it all over again, that's what I'm.
I understand exactly what you mean. If you were to do that, I would say we would eliminate the back windows completely. There's no need to have them.
Right.
If you're gonna go build on and go up 2 stories, I would assume.
Well, we really haven't gone
Probably one
far
story.
down that
I think
road.
probably one story that we've been talking,
Yeah.
this way onto the building, just one story with the bays.
So if you have windows on the second floor, you'll probably wanna leave
You'd
them.
wanna leave the windows on
Okay.
the second.
The lower one on the bathroom, you could probably, on the backside, you could eliminate that.
I think for one window's not
Addition.
well, really.
No.
And then I wouldn't know what you would think about doing with the siding. What would you,
I would side the whole thing, well, you
Yeah.
got it, and then we'll worry
I'd do the
about.
whole building, cause even if they attach to it, they would just cut away
Yeah.
with the siding.
the roof is in great shape.
Yeah,
Well, Todd and I went over this quite a bit. I liked his proposal the best.
yeah,
to
I
itself.
went over those
Um,
too.
And the roof is in great shape, there's no problem there. This would be siding, the windows insulated, once the, clapboards are removed, and any repairs that are needed. Also, the walk-in door on the ground floor has a small roof over it.
Yep.
He said he probably would just replace it. The building itself, the overhead doors, I had serviced this fall, so they're all set and working properly.
And I know, Dave, you and I will remember going out there about 3 or 4 years ago when they were thinking of joining the town.
Yeah.
And I think we all kind of agreed that these windows
Yeah,
needed some
they need- oh,
attention,
yeah.
Oh,
rotting away.
They're in rough
They're
shape.
rough shape.
Oh, yeah, I don't think anything's been done to it really since it was built, except the roof. Timber was put on. Thing was
So do you foresee, you're saying the roof is good,
Mhm.
foundation's good, I presume?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if we site it, that's about all it's gonna need for
Absolutely, yeah,
a while?
yeah. And it's just the
Quite a
outside of
while.
The building needs attention, you know.
Yeah.
It has needed attention.
That's needed for a long time.
this possible addition that we have talked about a little bit, is that in the foreseeable future, or is that just pie in the sky? I don't
That's
know.
up to you
That's up
folks.
to us.
Yeah, that's nothing I planned on doing.
That's us,
That's a
Joe.
select board call as to whether and where you'd like to put the police department.
Yeah.
If they would like to, if you would like to have them move down there.
Well,
The upstairs, I mean, I've just been there the one time, Bob, but my recollection was that there's not a lot of space on that first floor. There's basically the existing garage
Right.
and a stairway upstairs, but the upstairs seems quite large.
Yep, it's, big enough, we were training up there.
It could have multiple purposes, the upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we award the contract to Todd Blanchard. I don't know about funding, we can, I say, self-fund it and put it back in when we get the money.
And we can always
And
leave
whatever-
it to your
leave it to your
leadership as
discretion as to
to
what they wanna
what
kick
you'd
in.
like to kick in, if you'd like to.
Oh, yes, I think we've done quite well, and I'm quite frugal. I think I can put in 10,000.
Oh, that'd be
That's
wonderful.
gonna
Nice.
pretty much do it, so.
I second the motion then.
Any more discussion on that?
Yeah, wasn't Don Champine's bid quite a bit lower?
No.
It didn't have
The whole bid.
windows.
No.
Oh, it didn't have windows?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah,
This is a little
Just
bit,
the
I went
same.
over all of them,
okay.
yeah, that's why I went with him.
Tom, do you have an amount you want to include in your motion?
It was, yeah, total was what, 23,000?
quick.
41,000? No, that's the other one.
That was
23.
possible.
23,800,
5560.
Yeah.
Make it 25.
Make it 25, so they got some extra.
Well, when you add the two Blanchards together,
Yeah, it's 28.
It's
No, it's
28.
closer
No,
to
it's closer,
30.
yeah,
It's closer
I know.
to 30, yeah.
It's on the back.
29.
Yeah. Not to go over
Where's the
30,000 there.
calculator?
Not to exceed 30,000, not if we got any pickups along the way.
Well, don't we wanna do 20,000, cause he's putting in 10?
Well, I say the project, not to
Oh,
exceed.
the project, okay.
Yeah, the project, not to exceed 30,000.
All right. that makes
But that means
that-
we're gonna
But
be stuck with
contingent
that.
on
Contingent on
them
his-
putting in 10.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we had a motion, we had a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
They do what they
Aye.
do.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Well, term fix so you can fix the truck.
It just means we're not putting enough money in that account. That's what it means.
I mean, we just started this,
Yeah, but I say,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not putting enough money in.
but, I mean, this is a great thing to get that cleaned
Well,
up,
kind of-
straightened up.
Well, no matter what we do with the building, if you're gonna keep the building, it's
Yes.
gotta be
Worth
tight.
it.
We're actually now also going through all the old run sheets. I mean, they've been stacked under desks and everything else and under tables up there, and I think they're back to the early 80s.
Probably don't need them anymore.
No, but we do have to keep
Yep,
any
you got
minor
some of them.
indefinitely.
Yep.
So we have to go through each one and check the age.
Yep.
7 years is the adult. After 7 years, we can destroy them.
Oh.
So we gotta. New
I think they
paper
did pretty
shredder,
good
and
if they got
we've been
40 years
overheating
out
it
of the
regularly.
siding and windows.
Yeah, not too
Yeah.
shabby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just afraid one of these days, when I open the overhead door and one of the upstairs windows is gonna fall in one of these.
Yeah.
You got insurance, right?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't know, does the town have insurance?
Yeah. Okay, we got a little.
Yeah, they're on.
All right, well, thanks.
thank you very much, Bob. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll discuss how to address our now select board vacancy.
Yes, our friends at VLCT advise us that the way it's done is a select board forthwith making an appointment to fill the vacancy. However, the voters can always, if they want to, find 5% of the voters to petition, can demand a special election. Otherwise, the appointment would last until the next annual town meeting in March, which is something we went through before. We had one, in my memory, when Dave Trombley was appointed by the select board to fill in. And so my rough thought process was to put something in the paper for next Wednesday with a May 4th deadline. That would give you folks 2 weeks in which to interview and make an appointment at the May 18th meeting, if that's agreeable.
Works for me.
Works for you. Works for you? Yeah.
Are you sure, Hank?
It's even better time to do it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, all right then.
Sounds like a plan.
That's it.
Very good.
John,
Yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt that. You let Todd know that he got the contract?
I absolutely will.
Or do I?
I'd be happy to get in touch with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. But you, of course, can as well. But I will.
All right, reappoint town reps to Otter Creek Communications Union District.
Yes, we recently heard from Tony Ferraro about his work on the Communications Union District. It has come time, apparently, that the Union District needs all the member towns to appoint or reappoint representatives from the various towns they serve. He has expressed willingness to continue on, so I would suggest if the board wished to, they could move to reappoint him as the main representative with the town manager to serve as an alternate. The problem has, of course, been that they also meet on Wednesday nights. So that's why I've never attended one of their meetings. Luckily, we've always had the main person attend. So the town manager can continue in that alternate role, but we're also planning to advertise and continue advertising for an alternate to serve instead of the town manager.
Okay.
By the way, Tony says his colleagues want to make him the chair. So I think what we saw as a very impressive person, lots of other people have seen the same way.
Okay, Dave.
Motion to make Mr. Ferraro our delegate to CUD.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Excuse me.
I do think we should look for an alternate, just
Yeah.
our
Oh,
town manager's
absolutely.
gonna have her
Be
plate
good, she
full.
will,
I know.
She doesn't need to
It'll
be
be
on
in the
anything
newsletter.
just for a while.
Just went over that today.
Oh,
It'll
for
be in
an
the
alternate,
newsletter.
it'll be
Yeah.
in the newsletter? Great.
John,
Alrighty.
who's the second one?
I don't know.
Joe.
Joe.
Joe did.
You didn't, he was right next to you, you didn't hear him?
I didn't, I'm sorry.
All right, consider selecting standard allowance option for the ARPA funds.
Yeah, that's kind of gobbledygook for what we've already discussed, which means that a few months ago, the federal government came up with finally a good rule for people to follow. And that is that instead of having to find ways to spend ARPA funds within the 23 and a half categories of specifically allowed ways, we can simply say all of the money coming to us is in the way of lost revenue due to COVID. And if we do that, it takes all those strings away and allows the select board to spend it on any governmental service.
Okay.
So if that's agreeable to you, they would like to see a town adopt that kind of a step
Oh, okay.
publicly.
Motion to adopt.
Second it.
There's no mandates come with that as to what you do with it. It's free.
It's for any governmental
Any governmental
service.
Yeah, it has a lot less.
So instead of saying it has to be for water or
Right.
broadband, you can use it for
And-
either those purposes or anything else.
Right.
Use it for the siding on the first response building if you needed to.
Yes.
Good, good.
Very industrious.
All right, we had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then consider proposal to increase swim lesson fees.
Yes.
Was that a $5 increase?
Yeah, a very modest increase. She just wants to make sure that the rec area is covering the expense to hire the instructor, and
Yep.
so she just had that small tweak to make.
I'll make a motion that we
Yeah.
raise it to the
Second it.
$5.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then consider request to extend retail fireworks sales permit.
Mr. Greeno is here.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Trying to get in here a little early this year. My dad's still in Florida, so I'd like to get
Oh.
this.
Tell them we can't do anything for you.
I'd like to kind of get it, I was hoping to have it done before he got back, to be honest with you, so we could start going to work. You guys gave it to us for 3 years last year. That's all I'm asking for, the same permit. Not any different wording, nothing changed.
I move we renew it.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion?
The state kind of batted it around, but did nothing, as I
Didn't do
understand
anything.
it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I wish they cleared it up one way or the other,
Yeah, there's
but,
Yeah,
we're
it's
still dancing
it's
that
still
line.
muddy, but,
Still some green areas or red areas.
I thought with last year with the Rutland Town Store, what they did over there, thank God for you guys, because I was able to scrape a living out of just the Pittsford store. I'm going in front of the Fairhaven Board on the 19th for hopefully the last time. I should have that Rutland Town Store moved over there, which is just getting that closer to my main customers in New York anyway, so. Hopefully that'll be the last, thing in the newspaper for a while. Unless it's an ad that I ran. But it looks like that's gonna go through, went in front of their zoning board and passed, so.
all right, good.
Good.
Yeah.
The current permit runs through October of 2022.
Oh, okay.
So, how long would you like to extend for?
Well,
Right on the end.
3 years from October?
well, no, that's the thing I had a question because we did it for 3 years.
Yes, I thought this
But
was the
well, how
year to
does
go
it
back.
come up in October of 22 if we did it for 3 years?
I think it was
We only did
because.
it a year or so
think it
ago.
was-
I know, it didn't seem
Well,
that long ago.
We amended it last year because of the legal issues that
Right,
brought
right.
us.
Oh, to make it back to that one.
Okay.
Back to 1 year.
Okay.
All right.
So you sure you want us to do it for 3 years?
Well, I mean,
no,
I
I'm
mean,
just
honestly,
saying that caused a whole kerfluffle, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we open May 1st, so if you gave it to me now, it's really setting it in line to where we would reopen. I would come in front of you again in 3 years and I'd be able to open it.
Right, okay.
Where, I mean, honestly, I'd be able to run all this summer
Oh, yeah. you
and then
can,
come
yeah.
back to you guys this fall, but I'd rather just have it all done and,
Yeah,
No,
That's fine with me.
yeah.
oh no, I have no problem, I just was kinda joking that last
Yeah.
time we gave it to you for 3 and
Because licenses,
yeah, honestly,
6 months later,
I honestly
you're
thought
in
it
the
was this
newspaper.
spring.
if there's big problems, I think it can be revoked anyways.
Well, yeah, and we
Right,
haven't
yeah,
had, there
right,
haven't
right.
been
Happens, so.
any
Yeah.
issues, so.
We haven't had any
Yeah.
trouble lately.
Good, perfect.
No, I
All
have no
right,
problem with
we
it.
can actually vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna issue this thing tomorrow, or the next day, but the end date will be October of
October of
2025.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Great to be part of your last meeting.
Aw.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Does anybody else have any, oh,
Could I ask one thing?
Oh,
Could
sure.
we just, for the record, have Dave, who was the person who did the motion about the ARPA standard allowance,
yeah.
read the VLCT language? Would that be all right?
Oh,
Oh, read it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just to make it as clear as possible.
Okay. I move that the town of Pittsford make a one-time irrevocable decision to elect the standard allowance approach for our ARPA award in the amount of $833,107 to spend on the provision of government services throughout the period of performance of the grant.
all right.
John, will you send it up to me?
I will.
So if there's nothing else, then we'll recess, as a select board and open as a liquor board.
Alicia, can I ask one question?
Oh, absolutely. Good night.
Thanks, Hank.
See you later, Joe.
Since I volunteered to kind of like maintain the Welcome to Pittsford sign on the
Right.
south part of town,
Yeah.
before I go over there, is the crew that did the work on the road, are they done? Am I allowed to go there, or do they still have
I don't know.
work
John was
They're
zones?
not, they still have a punch list. Tom Markowski is running that operation. But recently, when we heard about a tree down,
I told
I
him.
called him, and he said, if you have to do that, help yourself, you're not gonna be in our way. But if you wanna make a call, or have me make a call to Tom Markowski, you let me know when you plan to do it and what you plan to do. I'd be happy to give him a heads up, or I can give you his number.
Yeah, I told Al I'd go help him, so yeah, maybe make the call clear.
When is, just when my schedule allows me to get
Or
there?
why don't I do this, why don't I email you his contact info, so you can just reach him
Okay.
yourself.
'Cause
You'll
I
find
can't
him
remember,
very
I don't
agreeable.
remember seeing any more orange ribbon there,
They've got some cleanup
think
to
we-
do.
but I
think- I
know
think they-
that they're not done.
They're not
No, I think
done, no,
they
they
had
got
a little bit more
but I don't know what they're
landscaping
doing
and-
there.
But up there.
But I don't wanna
Yeah.
go on to a work zone,
Right.
not knowing that I shouldn't still be there.
Yeah.
Or do the work and have them tear it out the next day. There's that too.
I don't think they would do that.
Well,
But, yeah, it is good to check in, see where
And
they're
you should
at,
talk
so.
directly to the horse's mouth, as
Yeah.
you say.
Which Markowski is that?
Tom, I'm gonna send it to you, though.
Oh, you will, okay, great, because, yeah, I would just as soon know that I'm welcome to go there
Yep.
as opposed to,
Yeah.
interfering or interrupting or trespassing,
Yeah.
whatever the word. Okay, and I too just wanna, I came to tonight's meeting for Hank's final thing.
Thanks, Al.
And, I hope to join in on that guest basket. If you don't,
I'm taking them home tonight,
Okay,
so I
well,
don't
yeah,
know.
so you'll grab what you can, I know. So Tom has volunteered to help me with the sign this year, and so between the two of us, we'll get to it,
Make it pretty.
make it pretty sometime,
Yep.
whenever I know we can go.
There you go.
All right, thanks,
We
guys.
might need a few flowers, whatever we need to do to fix it up a little bit.
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure about the water situation up there.
It's dry.
That's what I'm saying.
But some of the stuff did live, 'cause when I went up. and
I know, and that's only a positive, but I'm not sure that we'd want to plant more. But we will clean up the mess that was made by Mother Nature and the work crew, and then we'll bark mulch it and make it all look pretty again. And my plan, if, I haven't really talked to the landowner, but what I was thinking is maybe just a little bit in front of the sign, doing a little mowing every now and then, so that the tall grass doesn't go up and block either
Yeah.
the view of the shrubs or the sign itself. We wouldn't be taking away any of this guy's haying field.
And you've already been in
But-
touch with Mr. Fish about it,
Yeah,
so.
and he was okay with everything up to that point, so we just wanna make it look pretty for the town.
Yeah.
And because of the road construction, the sign is so much closer now, it is really wonderful to look at now,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And one last question. Did the Girl Scouts have something to do with putting it all
Yes.
together in the first?
Yes.
Do they want to be involved with anything
Not a
down
bad
the
point.
road?
It's not a bad point.
Oh, that's,
We discussed lighting that one time too, John, when solar lights, remember that? Remember that?
I was just thinking it would be a good
I've
idea.
never heard about that. I just wanna keep it looking good.
Out there in today's world.
Well, what Larry McDuff did out here for the Veterans Day, you don't need electricity, right?
Light
Solar.
that sign,
Right.
that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming into our town.
Yep.
It should, it's not gonna cost a whole heck of a
No.
lot of money.
Oh, no, the lights aren't that expensive.
Because any work that Tom and I might do there isn't gonna take like forever.
No.
But if for some reason the Girl Scouts, if they were involved in the past,
Might wanna-
wanted to be involved with that as some sort of a badge earning project,
yeah.
I'm sure Tom and I we would find them something to do to make them feel like they were part of
And of
the,
course, scouts are integrated now, so maybe the joint scout troop would do that.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
That was nice to think
Well,
about.
not really integrated, there's still two.
It's still two
There's
separate-
girls and Boy Scouts,
Oh.
but there is still Girl Scouts.
Okay, all right, I didn't know that.
Well, they didn't integrate them.
Well, Tom, I'll let you
Yeah.
carry the ball on that one, and I'll call you someday when, like I said, it's when I can find time. I may just call you on very short notice,
You know?
and if it works, it works, and if not, we'll try to.
We'll try to figure out something.
Thank you. Congratulations, Hank. Lot of years.
It's
Oh,
actually
yeah,
really good
thanks a
having
lot.
girls.
He's either forgetting the hat or coat or
Yeah.
something.
That's it. You got me all flustered. Thank you, guys.
It's good having girls.
Thank you, have a good night.
All right, good night.
Yeah. All right, so we are in liquor board. We have Cluckin' Cafe.
Yes, you do.
Oh, and let me just, we usually do them all in one thing.
Yes.
Keats and Pittsford Pub. Well, you said Hilltop, but are they still
It's Hilltop
formally on
Tavern
paper?
doing business as
Okay,
Pittsford.
all right, wasn't sure, so, all right,
Grill.
so, okay, so we have Cluckin'
Pub and
Cafe,
Grill.
Keats, and Hilltop.
That's right.
Been no issues with any of these.
No,
I move we go ahead and
Back of it.
I mean, I know that Hank sometimes isn't able to get his blackberry brandy because
know
they
it.
run low sometimes.
Well, that was a problem, wasn't it?
all right, was there any more discussion on those?
What is the breakdown for the class? I
Oh,
have
First,
Cluckin'.
first and third for an outside consumption for the Cluckin' Cafe. And as to Keith's, it's just a second-class liquor license permit. And as for Hilltop DBA Pittsford Pub and Grill, it's a first and third class plus an outside consumption permit.
Back door.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Remember a few years ago, when Pittsford got an outside consumption?
Yep.
For every place they took the parking lot.
We all have to sign that.
We do.
Are they afraid of broken glass and potentially?
Broken glass is broken glass.
I always am looking for the common sense reason.
Yeah.
Why not in the parking lot?
Yeah, I was
Do
thinking.
you really want people sitting in their car drinking and then driving off?
They're gonna drink it.
No, but I was
Well,
thinking.
no,
I
but
was
at
thinking.
least,
I
at
was
least
thinking if
they've
you're
walked
on.
a few feet
They
to
walk,
sober
yeah.
up before they get in their car.
Fall down for the car.
I don't know.
Get on the grass.
Yeah, I was just thinking if it's on the grounds, why would that be the one spot? I would figure broken glass and car tires, but. Alrighty.
If you find those yellow ones, that's where you want to be on those pages, yeah. On the approved side.
On the approved.
Yeah, make sure you sign the right side.
To the left.
Yes.
It's a struggle for me to sign my name this small on these.
Really?
Big signature.
You can't sign that small?
I mean, I can, it's just a struggle. It's a struggle. Oh my God.
There's 3 more.
Well,
Yeah.
You can sign for it, I can sign this one.
Oh my, well, wait till you see Dave's.
you may need a magnifying glass.
There is one in every bunch.
Well, you know.
Oh boy.
Might as well laugh as cry.
Yeah, well,
God, we're gonna have to go
There's
stand
like
here
3,
pretty
why is
soon.
there like 400?
do mine.
You make it smaller than mine?
Yeah, he did.
My wife
Did he?
said, my wife said I write so good I could have been a doctor.
Joe's doing it far enough so I can put it on top of it.
Like 7,000 in these.
I know, I said we need a
There's
stamp.
2s and 3s and outdoors and indoors and they're everywhere.
All right, so as you guys finish signing that, we'll come out of liquor board, back into select board. And to executive.
Come out.
So that's it.
End of the open meeting.
In the open meeting, that's what I meant, yes.